Today we're going to go over a fragrance that is a part of the Banana Republic lineup. It's probably, I'm going to keep it all the way 1,000 with you guys. It's one of my least favorites, but in terms of the fragrance community, a lot of you guys seem to have this fragrance in your top 3, top 2, and even some of you, it's your favorite fragrance of the entire line. We're going to talk about it. Strap up. All right, welcome to the Scent Bubble. I am your host for the afternoon. Hey, listen, without further ado, man, Banana Republic, man, for me personally, we got started on a rocky road. Our relationship was on the rocks right away. I ditched him. I ditched Banana Republic for the longest time. I felt like the fragrance I tried was super synthetic, cheesy, lacked quality, and I got reacquainted with Banana Republic about a year ago when I tried Vintage Green, I believe was my second reintroduction to the line, and absolutely fell in love with it. From then went to Grasslands, went to Pure White. I think there's one other one I'm missing, but certainly loving the fragrances that I've had from there ever since. Took a little bit of research, a little background digging before I kind of got lost in the sauce, but doing the research really helped me to kind of pick what I think's best for me, because the community and I did not share the same nose with the house. So anyways, brought to you from the House of Banana Republic. This seems to be everybody's top 3, many people's favorite. This is Tobacco and Tonka Bean. I've got a travel spray left of it with plenty of juice. And let's just put our nose to this. I want to give it an honest review. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I haven't smelled this fragrance in months, so this is a valid review. I'm not speaking from like how I felt about it before. I'm giving it a new, fresh revisit. From what I remember about this fragrance, it was sweet. It was very, very sweet, borderline beast mode, maybe like 8 out of 10. I remember it was just very pungent. Now that I have it in front of me, I still share that same sentiment. I smell vanilla. It's very, very sweet. It's got to be unisex. I never remember checking when I bought this sample to see if it was a men's only fragrance. This has to lean unisex. I feel like it's even sweeter than I remember it. Tobacco, do I smell tobacco? If it's tobacco, we're talking like the smoothest, sweetest pipe tobacco. Like a lot of you guys know, when you get like really sweet, rich, well-crafted pipe tobacco, and it's just got that rich sweetness. Tobacco might come up with, 10-20% of it, but it mostly just smells like this deep, rich, sweet, velvety scent. That's what kind of tobacco we're talking here. There's got to be less than 15% of that kind of waft or scent profile in the DNA. This is mostly just sugary sweet, vanilla sweet, mixed fruit sweet. It's got a velvetyness to it. Let's just go ahead and cut the bologna and go to the bottle. I do love Banana Republic's kind of simple, minimalistic Apple brand. They just the aesthetic of their craftsmanship and the visual of their colognes always just kind of reminds me of Apple. When you go into an Apple store, everything's so simple and modern and minimalistic. Their bottle quality is nice, strong glass with kind of like a chrome construction. The label's a little cheap. It's normally paper with this kind of printed text on it, but that's something Apple would do as well. So let's go ahead and just check the note profile of this. We've got this Mirabelle plum on top and pear. And I actually am a big fan of plum. For those of you who saw, we reviewed Vintage Radio, which is a plum dominant Palo Santo fragrance. And we've got pear. I haven't seen pear in a fragrance in a while, but you can see right off the bat why a fragrance like this is so sweet. Plum, pear, coconut, vanilla, tonka bean. I mean, that is just a sugary monster. And I would tend to believe that this... it is unisex, but I would tend to encourage you guys, as far as how my nose receives this, that this leans feminine. The tonka bean, the vanilla, the coconut, the pear, the plum. I smell all of this. In fact, this is primarily tonka bean, vanilla, and maybe pear dominant. Good amount of coconut as well, though. The plum's probably the smallest player out of all these. It's larger than the tobacco, obviously, but in terms of the fruits and the sweetness, pears or plums kind of taking the back seat. But pear, I would say, in in a hierarchy of strongest to weakness, we have tonka bean, vanilla, coconut, pear, plum. That's the hierarchy. And then just a touch of tobacco leaf. Like, again, I'm smelling 10%, and that's just because I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt that it's kind of a sweet tobacco. This is like a very favorable, smooth, entry level tobacco. This is not your cowboy tobacco. There's no harshness at all. This is just smooth and sweet. I think the appeal here, guys, for most people is they love the sweetness. I don't know why I see so many men say that this is in their top 2, top 3 of the whole Banana Republic line, especially since this leans so feminine. I don't really get it. I mean, I'm not just saying this because I own this, but without question, vintage green kills this fragrance to me. It's just got more dimension to it. Grassland kills this. It's got the earthy dimension to this kind of sugary grass, whatever. Pure white is can really go against this, even though they're kind of two completely different profiles. What else do I have from Banana Republic? Arctic Slate is like an Invictus clone. It kills this. So yeah, guys, I don't know what the hype is. I mean, it's a good fragrance, but for a man, if you're jumping at the bit to call this one of your favorites from the entire line, you got to be a young guy. I'm just going to say you're under 25. You haven't smelled a lot of the Banana Republic line. You've just went online, heard a lot of people talking about it. You put your nose on it. You already love sweet, fruity fragrances. Little teeny bopper fragrances. I don't want to diss you guys. I don't want to diss people that love this fragrance because I get why it's lovable. The sweetness of the profile is smooth, but it's so sweet, guys. I mean, it's insanely sweet. It's not quite Angel Share or Baccarat Rouge sweet, but it's close. I mean, close second to those, like 6 or 7 out of 10 sugariness. So as a man, I look at this composition and say, man, I wish there was a lot more tobacco in here to put some chest hair on a DNA like this. But it is smooth. I mean, I think what annoys me about it as well is like, it's so cakey. You put this on your skin, you're going to get 8 hours plus on a fragrance like this. As a guy, I don't want to be beast mode sweet. Beast mode sweet doesn't work for me. And maybe that's why at my age, I'm not a big fan of Jean-Paul Gaultier, specifically Le Male, Le Beau, all the sweet fragrances. I mean, all of it's sweet, but you know what I'm saying? The main trio line, Elixir. Being sweet all day, especially, I think another thing that plays into my bias here is I'm in Arizona. You could never rock something like this in high heat in Arizona all day as a grown man. It just would not work. This is a fall winter fragrance, preferably an indoor cool type fragrance, and there's just not that many scenarios. And then when you're indoors, this is just going to be super loud. Again, on the beast mode scale, 7 to 8 out of 10. If you like that kind of vanilla tonka bean coconut vibe with the pear and stuff, this might be very reminiscent of JPG type fragrances. It almost has a little bit of lip stickiness to it. Not iris lip stickiness, but just kind of like maybe like a red lip stickiness to this, where it's reminiscent of like a touch of cosmetics from a girl's purse or something. But yeah, unisex fragrance leaning feminine. I got this fragrance. I think you can get it for $20 for 100 ml. So, I mean, it's really affordable. If you're looking for a nice sweet fragrance, it doesn't really smell synthetic, but it does borderline a girl's body mist. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of girls' body mists are like fruity and sugary and gourmandy. As I smell this, the level of sweet almost goes to like a synthetic sweet, you know, sugary, sugar cane sweet, syrup sugar, you know. It's like they took 5 different types of sugar. They took agave syrup, they took sugar, they caramelized, you know what I mean? Like it's just heavy. Um if I did like this fragrance, guys, I would say strongly that this is a 25 and under fragrance. And I hesitate to even go to 25 because that's well out of college for many people. Um, this is a college and under fragrance. High school, college, you can put some gas on this for sure. You know, just in terms of trying to be attractive to the opposite sex type vibe. Um, yeah, it's affordable. Again, predominantly cold weather or indoor aerating cold weather. You don't want to wear this in high heat. Longevity, the sillage and projection is very loud. 7 or 8 out of 10. I might call it 8 out of 10. 8+ hours on longevity easily. This sits on clothes heavy. And yeah, I mean, I just think in the Banana Republic line, this falls well out of the top 5 for me personally. But if you're watching my video and it's one of the few videos you've seen of somebody reviewing tobacco, Tonka bean and tobacco, I'm not going to be so biased that I'm unrealistic. Guys, go watch other videos. You'll find that am probably the minority in saying it's not in the top 5 of best Banana Republic fragrances. I think I am the minority in that, at least from what I've seen, because I've seen a lot of people say this is the best in a ranking, and I've seen many, many, many people put it in a top 3 for best fragrances out of the Banana Republic line. But almost every fragrance to me in my collection, Arctic Slate, Grassland, 90 Pure White, Vintage Green, those all smoke this fragrance. They have more dimension. Even though some of them are unisex, they have enough masculinity going on in them, whether it's via earthiness or unique touches like tea. Yeah, it's just, this becomes very flat to me very quickly. But I think for people who like sweet fragrances, this will add another type of sweetness that isn't quite Angel Share, isn't quite Baccarat Rouge, isn't all the way JPG, that could fit in your collection. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Again, this is from the House of Banana Republic. This is Tobacco and Tonka Bean. It's a unisex fragrance. You can find it at almost every single discounter for $20 for 100 ml. So definitely pick this up. As a man, I would highly encourage you to purchase the sample before you buy the bottle, because if you're thinking this is like a strong manly fragrance, you're going to be sadly mistaken. Try it before you buy it. I don't think this is blind buy worthy in the least. And that's not just because it's sweet, but because there's almost no tobacco. This is almost straight. They should have just called it Tonka Bean, and it would have made more sense. But anyways, like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Make sure you're turning on your notification bells. We're dropping episodes every single day. I've been really active in the community area. I like to post what fragrances I'm buying, what stuff I'm looking up. I'm actually thinking of going live soon. Let me know, guys, if you want me to go live to do like some Q&A, if you guys want to look at my studio. You can see it looks pretty interesting behind me, but my whole studio in here looks really cool as far as my fragrances, and I'm into a lot of different stuff, guys. I'm previously a painter. I do hip-hop music. I'm also an audio engineer, and I just have a lot going on in this room. This room is very much artistic, and fragrance is a big part of it as well, at least these days. And so we could do a room tour. I mean, we could do all kind of stuff in here, guys. I'm totally interested in kind of breaking the monotony of doing these single reviews and kind of going into different pockets until I finish my collection. But hope you guys have a blessed rest of your week. Peace.